Good afternoon and welcome to this week's video devotional. We're going to the book of Mark, chapter 2, beginning at verse 1. Here Mark writes, "And again he," this is Jesus, "again he entered into Capernaum after some days, and it was noised that he was in the house. And straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them, no, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them. And they come unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was borne of 4. And when they could not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was. And when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay." Let's pause there for a moment. There are times in our lives when we need to get to Jesus. We have a struggle, or we have a need, or we're carrying a heavy burden, and we need the Lord. We need help, healing, comfort, peace. And it's very easy for people to say in those times, "I need my friends," or "I need more sleep," or "I need to binge Netflix for 6 hours." Something to take away the stress. We tend to cover up those problems with temporary things, but Jesus is who we need. At those times, we need to go to him in prayer. When we come to Jesus in prayer, we will often find a crowd at the door, blocking our way in. Here are all of our distractions. Here's all of our uncertainty. Over here is a list of excuses why we can't go to Jesus with our needs. We're too tired, or we're too angry, or we're feeling guilty or scared, or we really don't have the time to spare for prayer. We get to the door of the throne room of God, we see the crowd, and we turn away. Friends, we need to get to Jesus, whatever it takes. We read in our opening verses about a sick man who was carried to Jesus by 4 faithful friends who just wouldn't quit. They couldn't get through the front door, but they were going to see Jesus. Maybe they looked for the back door. They might have checked the windows. In the end, they got desperate. They got determined and went through the roof. That's persistence. That's determination. They weren't going to stop until they brought their need, their friend, to Jesus. And friends, we need the same attitude in prayer. Maybe you're the sick person and you can't get to Jesus on your own. You're tired, you're feeling weak, you're bothered. Who can come alongside and help you get to Jesus? Who can pray with you, encourage you, reach out to heaven along with you? There's power in unity, friends. There's power when we come together and agree in prayer. Maybe you're one of those friends. Don't give up on the sick person that you're carrying. Don't give up on taking that need to Jesus. Don't turn away when discouragement and distraction and excuses stand in the way. It's easy to say, "I should stop. I've done this for long enough. I don't want to carry the burden anymore." Don't do that. Keep pushing. Keep pressing. If you can't get to Jesus through the front door, look for a window. If a window isn't available, tear a hole in the roof. Find a way around the things that come between you and Jesus. It's there if you look for it. You might only be moments away from your breakthrough. If you are faithful and persistent in prayer, you will find yourself in the presence of the Lord. What happens then? Let's read verse 5. Mark writes, "When Jesus saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee." Pause there. Some of the scribes were sitting there, and they took issue with that statement. They said, "Who can forgive sins but God only?" Jesus asked them, "Why reason ye these things in your hearts?" He continues, and we'll pick up the narrative again in verse 9. Here, Jesus asks, "Whether is it easier to say to the sick of the palsy, Thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and take up thy bed and walk? But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins, he saith to the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, Arise and take up thy bed and go thy way into thine house. And immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went forth before them all, insomuch that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, We never saw it on this fashion." We'll stop there. When we come to the Lord in prayer and we have been faithful and persistent, a few things will happen. 1, we'll find forgiveness. That was the first thing Jesus said to the sick man. Thy sins be forgiven thee. 2, we'll find healing. Physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. What do you need? Jesus can do it all. James echoes this pattern in James chapter 5, verse 15. James writes, "And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him." The prayer of faith. There is persistence and determination. Get to Jesus whatever it takes. Through the front door, through a window, through the roof. Pray, and do not give up until you have reached the Lord. Pray in persistent faith. That kind of prayer shall save the sick, not might, not could, not maybe. That shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. There's healing. If you'll make up your mind to get to Jesus in prayer, you'll find your healing. He'll meet your need. Lastly, James says, if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. If you make up your mind, friend, that you're going to get to Jesus, he will reward your faith. He'll heal you and he'll forgive you. Do whatever it takes to get to Jesus, and he'll do whatever it takes to meet your need. I hope this thought has been a blessing and an encouragement to you. Don't ever let anything stand between you and Jesus. Don't let the distractions or uncertainty or excuses turn you away. Pray fervently and persistently until you connect with Jesus, and you'll find that he's been ready and waiting for you all along. Until next time, God bless you all.